So hello and welcome to my plot tour. Finally got a break in the weather, no wind. The last video I made there was a lot of wind noise in the background which I tried to edit out, but it wasn't very good, so here I am again. And this is the plot tour for the end of November. So I've got two plots here. The back one is plot number 5, the front one plot number 6. Plot number 5 at the back is going to be a no dig allotment, all raised beds and planters, and then plot number 6 here I have rotivated and currently growing 2.5 kilo of field beans for green manure, and which obviously cut down and dig into this ground. Not quite sure whether this will become raised beds yet or not, but you know, here we go. So over here is a little raised bed I made, and it's got spring bulbs, sort of daffodils and those kind of things in there. And I plan to have another one in the corner there, ready for the spring, and that will have wild flowers in. So there is my shed. It's just a bulk standard 6x4 shed. Started putting round guttering, and you can see here the water that I made from one of my blue barrels, and a tap from Poundland. And there's actually a tutorial on my Facebook page, the link will be in the bottom, of how that was done. So walking up the plot here, I got some compost that a fella dropped off to me. The local council started charging them a fee now for green collection, so instead he's been saving up for me and he drops it off here, and I haven't quite got round to putting it back. So these are the blue barrels that I made. They're bulk standard food grade barrels, some of which I've cut in half and started to fill. You can see holes at the bottom for the drainage. Some have started to fill. Not quite sure yet what I'm going to use this for, whether they're going to be giant onions or I might grow potatoes in here rather than in the bed here. I have got elephant garlic in these 1, 2, 3, 4 bins. I need to top the levels up. The levels have dropped down quite a bit. I actually cheated and half filled the bins with mulch that we get delivered here. And I've got some of the bigger drums here. There's some bits and pieces in. These have got bags of leaves in, which I haven't got round to strimming yet to make the leaf mould. And here is some of the bags that we collected from the woods the other day. Some more in their car which haven't quite got out yet. But the plan is to unload it bit by bit, get a strimmer, put it into here and strim up the leaves to make them a lot smaller, so they break down a lot quicker. I kind of built this raised fenced area around here just to stop blowing them away. We are sort of very open here and do get quite a bit of wind, so that's just like a little bit that I built there, just to keep them in tight. So this plot here, I have raspberries, and last week one of these started flowering because the weather is doing silly little things at the minute. We're going frosty, and then all of a sudden it's 14 degrees, and then it's 12 degrees, then it's 4 degrees, then we're back to 12 degrees, and the seasons don't know what they're doing. So here's the raspberries. And here I have a tayberry and gooseberry and blackcurrant. And again you can see the blackcurrant here has started to bud. Here is a kiwi, and then just sort of the bulk standard gooseberries at the end, and then 3 crowns here champagne rhubarb. Now I took these crowns from my previous plot that I had. There was a champagne rhubarb on there. The crown was about 2 foot across by a foot wide. It was absolutely humongous. So I just broke some pieces off, buried it here, and I had a good harvest over the summer. But obviously it's died back now, and these beds here I do need to get weeded. And you can see these beds here have been done. Here is the a grapevine, and then just here I've got 6 fruit trees. I've got apple, cherry, pear, a plum. I'm not sure what the other one, I think it's another variety of apple, but they're all miniature fruit trees. The ones that only sort of grow to 6 foot tall and have stems of fruit down the middle. Now our committee here is quite strict along with the council rules, and as you can see all the plots are pretty uniform. If you want a shed, you're only allowed a 6x4 shed, and it has to be placed in a position that's uniform with every other plot holder. So you have to apply for a shed and they tell you where you've got to put it, and they want everything uniform. You're not allowed no glass up here, no greenhouses, no polytunnels. So I'm a little bit kind of limited on what I can do there, but I do have a greenhouse and a polytunnel at home, so I'm not too worried about that. From the seed point of view, it's actually a good thing, because I can just step outside my front door, go and water all the seeds that will be cultivated in sort of February to April time, and not have to worry about coming up to the allotment to do that on a regular basis. Now this is a brand new compost bin that I've just started building. I've kind of put wire mesh all around the side, and then at the front wooden board which is all screwed in. So to cultivate the compost you can just undo the bottom cups of boards and kind of scoop the compost out. Not quite sure yet whether I want to put like a liner in to keep it heated up. And as you can see, there's quite a lot of straw and bits and pieces in here. We actually breed guinea pigs at home and got a couple of rabbits as well, so we do get a lot of sort of animal waste that we can come down here and compost. Now there is the old compost bins over there, which I've started dismantling and moving over here. So comment guys, what do you think before I carry on emptying it out and moving it? Do you think I should line this or leave it open? What's your thoughts? So I took this plot on around about May, June time last year, pretty much after the growing season has started, so I had to rely on a lot of shop bought stuff rather than grow your own. So for temporary measure I put in here all the way raised beds just to get things going. I didn't get a chance to make them all uniform or painted up and things like that, so I actually started to dismantle them now. And what I've done is I've dismantled them and then painted them all green. They're all uniformly knocked in the ground, all spirit leveled, and then I put these blue hoops over, and I've got some netting to put over the top of there. These are some scaffold poles that I've cut down just to make that process slightly easier. So in here I've got grown winter beans. They're self-supporting, and the sticks were just there temporary, just to keep the cats off until I got around to putting netting in. This bed here is spring onions, and that's the Bedfordshire Champion, not spring onions, sorry, onions, and it's the Bedfordshire Champion variety. And as soon as I live in Bedfordshire, it was quite a fitting thing for me to be able to grow the Bedfordshire Champion variety. This bed here is currently empty, and here's the poles and the blue pipe ready to cover these ones here. The good old beans, broad beans, have got a little bit windswept. As you can see, a couple of them kind of bent over. So comments again, does anybody go to the hassle of staking each one individually, or do they just let them grow as they are? Do I need to get like flower stalks and support them, or will they grow on their own? I do need to get in there and weed this bed here and give it a good old hoeing. I've kind of put a border fence all around, just some cheap tree posts, and then some wide, just to sort of give the edge of my plot, just make it a little bit more uniform. So the rest of this here will have raised beds all the way up there to the fruit area there. So I've just got a table here, and I've got a few beetroot which didn't go very well, so I dug them all up and thought I wasn't really going to waste my time with them. Here's some strawberries. These were all runners which I've potted up, ready to go in a strawberry planter. I'm going to mention again robotic allotment, hope he doesn't mind, but give you the idea of catching the blue barrels, putting pouches in them using his cone and concrete cone, and previously used a wine bottle. I'm just waiting. I've ordered a flame torch, and I've got a gas bottle already, ready to get that started and get that done. Couple of cuttings here, or sort of shoots from the raspberries which I've just potted up to see how they go. I've got some cabbages here and some Brussels. Now they've just done absolutely terrible. They got hit by whitefly, and I brought some spray, and I don't know, they're just terrible. I don't know what's wrong. The Brussels have done absolutely nothing. I haven't even got a pinhead side Brussels on any of them. I don't know whether it's the soil here. This is all laid to grass because it was previously part of this over here, which was a golf course. The allotments were donated to the council, so you know, it's kind of grass. And this one here I had to rotate 3 foot down to get all the weeds and the goodness out, and just get that looking sort of viable for planting. Underneath each raised bed I have got sort of the weed membrane to obviously stop the grass coming through. I plan on sort of having a lawnmower width between all the beds, all the way up between, and sort of horizontally and vertically, so I can run the lawnmower backwards and forwards, up and down, just make things easier. You might have seen on one of my other videos that I do like to go to the local auction, pick up some bargains. I picked up 4 big reels of blue pipe here for £20. I thought that was a bargain, considering I've heard other plot holders paying a couple of £100 upwards for their blue piping. So yeah, that's it really. I don't know what else much more I can say, but I have got to get on and get some few jobs, get this weeding done. I have got a break in the weather, so it's not as long as videos I'd like to have made, but there you are. End of November plot tour. My name's Gary, have a good day.